Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very interesting topic for today's show, in which it is doctors at hospitals cry like little babies when they get in trouble with the federal government. So let's get right into this, and I'm going to use my own personal situation as an example. You know, last year, at the end of last year, I was seeing this specialist in which he diagnosed me with a disease that I do not even have. And here's the kicker. He diagnosed me with this disease even before I even did the test to test me to see if I had this disease. And when I did the test results came back negative. Now, keep in mind, here's another thing. This doctor, this provider that I saw at the end of last year, he works for the local hospital. And when I contacted the local hospital, they told me that in order to remove this illegal diagnosis off of my records and out of their system, I have to fill out and submit certain papers, return it back to them and everything. And I said, that's fine. And I did that. I did that. I did exactly what they told me to do. Still to this day, they did not do that. So what did I do? I told my health insurance about the situation, which they still have an open investigation against the provider and the hospital. And then I contacted a federal government agency to do an investigation, which they did, right? I submitted all the documents to prove my case against the provider and the hospital. And then this government agency sent a notice over to the hospital and to the medical provider's office and requesting that the hospital and the medical provider's office submit documents to them, to this back to this government agency, um, in regards to this complaint against this regarding this issue. I get a phone call yesterday from the government agency, from this federal government agency, stipulating that they found the provider, and even including the hospital, guilty of, get this, get ready for it, non-compliance. What does that mean, right? I'm sure many of you are probably asking that. Non-compliance means that the hospital nor the medical provider submitted any documents to this federal government agency in regards to this issue. My. Why didn't you submit any documents to them regarding this issue? Obviously, you have something to hide. Hmm. So, what happens from this point? Well, the federal government agency that I contacted sends their report over to another federal government agency for them to take necessary actions against this provider and the hospital. And then um, what's going to end up happening is, this federal government agency will contact my insurance, which again already has the open case against the hospital and the provider. And then, the punishment against the hospital and the provider could be a lot of different things. And I don't know because it's out of my hands, but here's the stupid, I mean, this is purely stupid of the hospital and the medical provider to do these things, and you got to answer for it. You're going to pay the piper either which way. But the hospital and the provider think that they're untouchable. They can get away with doing whatever they want to whomever they want to, and stuff like that. And that is not the case. That is not the case. And you know, they're really stupid for what they did. All they had to do was their jobs. All that they had to do was their jobs. Seriously, honestly. And, um, like I said, the hospital could fire the doctor. The hospital could turn around and tell the doctor that he can't accept, certain insurance now. You know, the board of directors of the hospital could revoke the license of the doctor. The board of directors of the hospital could send this report over to the uh, state medical board, and the state medical board could revoke the doctor's license. And I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen. But one of the things I am very sure of that once my medical insurance, gets a report from the federal government, my insurance could take other actions against the hospital and the medical provider because my insurance paid for the service from the medical provider. So my health insurance could take it up with the hospital and the provider and say, hey, listen, give us that money back now. My insurance could take many different actions against the hospital and the medical provider and stuff. So, and now the hospital and the medical provider's office, they've been all mad at me and everything else and blah, blah, blah. But once the federal government and my health insurance go after them, my, their attitude is going to change to from being so mean to me to being sweet as sugar. But here's the thing, I'm not going back to that medical provider anymore. So I don't need to see that medical provider anymore. So I really don't care, to be quite honest. But if I ever need to go back to the hospital for anything, wow, their attitude they're going to be sweet as sugar to me. And my, how the attitudes change because you thought you were untouchable and you can get away with doing all these things to people. And then, but once you get into trouble, you're like, oh my God, our jobs are on the line. Oh my God, we're going to be in trouble. Oh my. Hmm. How about just get your brains out from where the sun don't shine and do your damn jobs once? Stop being waste of life. Stop being screw ups. Seriously. So, um, but this is just really stupid of the hospital and the doctors or that medical provider to do. All they had to do was their jobs, to be honest. I filled out those papers. I submitted them back to the hospital. They know it. They got it because I even submitted it to their corporate headquarters. Think about that. Honestly. So now you don't want to do your jobs and everything else, and then you're going to cry like little babies when you get in trouble. Hmm. Hmm. I don't feel bad for them. I do not feel bad for them one bit. Seriously. But anyways, um, I wanted to remind all my fans out there about my website, Advocate Information Highway. The link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. You guys can check out all the pages on there. And if you go to the store page of my website, you will see links on there. And one of those links is to my internet store on Zazzle.com. If you click on that link, it'll bring you right to my internet store on Zazzle.com. And on my internet store on Zazzle.com, you will see all the products that I designed that are up for sale on my internet store on Zazzle.com. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.